you seen Star Wars?
The next live-action Star Wars show comes out this year, and it's called The Book of Boba, and it seemingly follows Boba Fett and Fennec Shand after they took over Jabba's palace. Boba looks to be playing the new crime lord of the Outer Rim, but there may be some more fan-favorite characters that show up. According to LRMonline, there will be fan-favorite bounty hunters that are making their appearances in live action in this new series, though there is no confirmation on what characters they speculate that we are going to see Bossk and Dengar in the show. Now, if I had my personal choice on which bounty hunter I would like to see, it is 100% Cad Bane. I think everyone really liked his character in the Clone Wars. We didn't really see him in Star Wars Rebels at all. We didn't hear anything about him. So if he did survive the original trilogy and was alive during this timeline of The Mandalorian, it would come as a big surprise to most Star Wars fans who have watched the Clone Wars, have watched Star Wars Rebels, and now The Mandalorian. If they could pull off Ahsoka Tano in live action, I would imagine that Cad Bane would be even easier. Plus, the Book of Boba Fett is being created by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So with Dave's experience with Cad Bane in the Clone Wars, I'm pretty confident he would want to bring him back and be inclined to bring back Cad Bane. Bossk and Dengar are the most obvious choices due to their history in this timeline and their history with Boba Fett himself. We know they're alive during the original trilogy. That means they're likely going to be alive past Episode 6. But imagine if we get to see Boba and Cad Bane reunite after all of these years. There was that deleted scene for, I think it was going to be Season 7 of the Clone Wars, that they showed off at Star Wars Celebration where Cad Bane and Boba had like a standoff, and it's how Boba got the dent in his helmet. They could touch on that a little bit more if they reunited. There's a lot of story routes that we can go with these new bounty hunters, a lot of fun story arcs, and I feel confident with people like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni behind the project. Another really easy choice for a bounty hunter that we can introduce that fans would know would actually be IG-88. We all remember him from Empire Strikes Back, and there was the other IG unit from Season 1 of The Mandalorian called IG-11. So bringing back the classic IG unit would make a lot of sense, and it makes good timing right now after what happened with Season 1 of The Mandalorian. We didn't see any IG units in Season 2, enough time has passed by. Plus, IG-88 is the original one. I think a lot of people would be nostalgic for him, and just seeing him talk and function and do some missions would be a real crowd pleaser. The most important aspect of bringing back these bounty hunters is making it fit into the story. A lot of us Star Wars fans were nervous when we heard about all the cameos happening in Mandalorian Season 2 because it felt like our main story was being sidelined to fit all the story arcs of these new cameos. But our concerns were laid to rest when we actually got to see Season 2 because we could see all the cameos that fit perfectly in the story of The Mandalorian. It didn't take away from anything, it only added to it. So I imagine that's exactly what's going to happen in the Book of Boba. We'll see Boba starting his own crime organization, replacing the Hutts, and taking on the Crimson Dawn in some way, maybe another crime organization, we don't know. In order to do that though, Boba would need to get a lot of muscle to take on these other gangs, so he's going to go back to some of his old friends, his old crew, like Bossk, Dengar, IG-88, and maybe Imbo if he's still alive, and hopefully he runs into our old friend Cad Bane. Imagine if like Cad Bane was also running his own crime organization. Maybe that's why we didn't see him in the Rebels there. We haven't really heard about him. It's like he's running things. But another question I have is, how old is Cad Bane? Is he too old to be featured in the series at this point? I really don't know. The Book of Boba Fett is currently in production right now and will release later this year in December of 2021. It will be the first live-action Star Wars show that is not The Mandalorian. It's the second one we're ever getting. In fact, it's a direct spin-off of the Mandalorian series and will likely have some impact on the story of Mandalorian. Din Djarin and having Boba as an ally may pay off down the line if Boba becomes this big crime boss. I mean, imagine if Din has to take over Mandalore, like he has to take it back, and the Empire is a big threat, or if the First Order is, or maybe even Thrawn at this point, and he has to use Boba and his connections and his crew to help take back Mandalore, to help defeat Thrawn, to help take on the First Order. I feel like this is all connecting somehow, and we're just seeing the seeds of that being planted today. So there will be a lot of speculation on who we will see in the Book of Boba Fett, but tell me your thoughts below on which fan favorite bounty hunter do you want to see in the Book of Boba. Is it Bossk? Is it Dengar? IG-88? Maybe Imbo if you're a Clone Wars fan, or maybe if you are a Clone Wars fan, you want to see Cad Bane. Tell me your thoughts below. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like or comment because it does about the channel. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news in Star Wars. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.